Hey everyone, and welcome to Counselor Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In today's Feature Friday, we are going to focus on the appointment lifecycle summary. This is something that you likely saw me talk about in our last update announcement, but it's an area that I really want to focus on because I think it can help you a ton. One of the biggest problems in any work setting you're in is that you don't know what you don't know. Every so often you find that, oops, we missed a Medicare claim that should have been billed 3 months ago. And that's disturbing in of itself because now you have to go through the work of resubmitting or submitting that claim, right? But what's really more disturbing is, did we miss any others? Are there any reports that we didn't send out? What are we missing in this practice? We're a busy practice, lots of moving parts. What do we miss? The challenge is there's not a great way to track that until now. So what I encourage you to do is check out the under business, the appointment life cycle summary. What this will do for you is it gives you some basic search parameters. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to narrow this down, but I could, search by a certain appointment type if I like. I'm going to come back to the status option just a bit here because this is particularly important. But obviously we can look by, different clinics or different staff. I'm going to leave this set to all and then click Run Report. And what this is going to do is it's going to show me all of the appointments I had during that specified time period and what happened downstream from there. So as we move from left to right, we're talking about just the basic appointment information all the way through what happened. So let's have a look here. Let's take Molly Wainwright's appointment here. So there's her appointment information. As we start going downstream, we can see the type, the fact that the appointment is set as complete. Now we're looking at visit information. Okay, the visit is complete. Was it billable? Yes. Was there a Superbill? And I'm going to come back to this billable in just a moment here because that's a new feature as well in Counselor. But as we continue to follow along here, was there a Superbill made? If there's a Superbill, was an invoice created, right? So you see we're following that progression as the patient kind of matriculates through the process. Okay, what's the invoice information? What's due? Is a claim required? Was there anything on that invoice that was claimable? And if so, was a claim created? If so, what was the payer and what happened? Now, you'll forgive me for this because all of my claims fail because it's a fake account. Just forgive me. But the point is that you can see that whole process. Now, here's an example where everything is done. The whole process for Molly is complete, right? But let's look at another example here. Let's say we look at someone here where there's an audio HAE. The visit has not yet been completed. It is billable, but no, there was never a Superbill, so there's nothing downstream from here. So here's one that is hanging out there, right? And it's for John Wayne. That we definitely want to take care of John Wayne. And so you'd want to check back in and see this. So we want this tool to be a singular place where anyone on staff can go and see what they need to know, really to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. But to make this even easier, you don't have to filter all through this visually and try to find this. You can use the status dropdown, because each person on staff may have different things they're looking for to make sure they did their work. So for example, if we wanted to make sure that every visit with a Superbill has an invoice, okay? So let's find all the Superbills where there hasn't been an invoice created. So let's go ahead and say, all right, Superbills without an invoice. Okay, it runs that same search, the same date range, and every other parameters stay the same. And now I can see there are 3 instances where yes, we have a Superbill, but no, an invoice was never created. Okay, and of course none of the downstream work was done either. Or let's change this around and say, show me all the instances where we had an invoice, but we forgot to submit a claim. Okay, this one's particularly easy to do. All right, here's one, Amy Linneman, where yep, we got all the way through the claims, the invoice process. Sorry, a claim is required, but no one was never created. Okay, so it allows individuals to pop in here and see specifically what they need to know. Now, on the note of billable, this is a particularly important point that you'll want to give some thought to within your practice as to how you wish to kind of treat this. Within the patient visit, so let's go ahead here and jump into a specific patient visit. There is the option just above the Superbill area here that is now available called billable. And this is basically allowing you to say at this visit level, is there something that we want to bill, not surprisingly, for this visit, right? Well, it's pretty straightforward in the case of like an audio and there's domes in here. That makes total sense. Of course, we want to bill that. But what about other scenarios? Let's talk about no charge clean-in checks, right? Do you want to track those or not? Some clinics would say, absolutely, I want every single patient encounter tracked so that I will create an invoice for it, and then at the end of the year or whatever time period I want, I can look back and I can see all of my no charge clean-in checks, right? So I can, maybe it helps me figure out my, my hourly rate and things like that, or if I'm charging the right amount for hearing instruments to cover my cost and my time. Point being is you have that data. Other people say, you know what, I've got a good handle on that elsewhere. I just want, for a clean-in check, I need the provider to create a chart note, and we're going to set this as not billable, right? And that's done. Either way, whichever way you wish to do that in your practice, it's then going to allow you to use this appointment lifecycle summary to see what's going on, right? So once again, you can use these different statuses to see if you've missed anything. Okay, so sort of two concepts I'm introducing here. One, of course, is the appointment lifecycle summary, this overall kind of catch-all but highly detailed way of making sure that nothing fell through the cracks. And then, of course, the billable option, which is sort of a subset there, which kind of can follow your philosophy on how you want to track this data. Okay, so I'd love for you to check this out. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you want to talk this through, if you have any ideas for us. We'd be very happy to assist. So give us a call, email us, live chat us. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.